Welcome back to the GSL Up and Down matches. We are 6 out of 15 potential scheduled matches down, and we're going to take a look at our current standings.
Korea takes the lead together with Senna, 2-0 for both of them. Effort and Shine in the middle of our ranking here in the 6-player group, and Killer and Ryung, they are both 0-2 already, which also means that in our next game we have Killer in a position where he has to win. If he loses, he is out. He's in Code A, there is no chance for him to advance, no chance for a tiebreaker because of the opponents he lost to. So this is going to be very, very critical. This is like the most important match for him today.
Yeah, he has to win it, and not only this one, but the following matches as well. So like you said, this is the most important one for him, but if he wins it, then the next match also becomes the next important match for him as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this doesn't end with his next game. He has to win a lot more. Effort, of course, he wants to kind of separate himself a little bit from the group and try to be on the same level as Creator and Center, at least for a little bit. So far, he did look okay. He took a win, one loss, suffered loss at the hands of Creator. So, yeah. For him, everything is still fine. He can still get out of this on his own accord. We'll find out if he can actually pull it off.
Yeah. So we're going to find out very soon here. Killer, you're on your last life. Daybreak is the map. Now, will the Killer go for another all-in, or is he going to try to play standard? This seems to be the matchup where Killer plays the most normal.
Yeah, actually, I actually think you're right.
I mean, it's hard to all-in as Protoss against Zerg these days with Forge Fast expands, and if you don't Forge Fast expand, you're kind of a little bit obvious.
The thing is, like with Killer, I don't know exactly what he's going to pull off. I could certainly see that your theory is correct that you mentioned earlier. I mean, we speculated a little bit about it, and he might actually just focus on the Heart of the Swarm and just play this with all-ins. We're going to find out if he finds something to pull off here in the GSL Up and Downs Group B probable. And of course, our Zerg player to the top right. Starting for Casper team, this is CJ Entus.
CJ Entus effort.
Currently tied in the middle.
Yep, strong Casper player, doing well in Pro League. Up against Protoss to the bottom left. Starting for Team MVP, we have in blue. Down 2 maps already.
MVP Killer.
Killer, pylon on the low ground. Nothing too crazy coming out of this guy right now. Not yet.
No. But it's a good map on the other hand to play a normal game. So Daybreak is like the map that has been figured out in Zerg vs Protoss. Everyone has played this for a long, long time. A little bit tricky is that, of course, Killer lost to a Zerg player in the Up and Downs. He lost to Su. Played really strong though on the other hand. Don't forget about that. Su was not just a pushover. He actually did really, really well. But Effort on the other hand, he had a loss against Creator. He lost against SOS. He lost against Lure. We mentioned earlier in this game against Creator that he's now on a 0-4 loss streak against Protoss. So if that trend continues, then Killer will have an easy time with his opponent here.
Yeah, it's a good point. Killer is going to go Nexus first before Forge, and forces, of course, the hatchery to come after the pool. He even tried to deny the pool with his first probe, try to block its position, which is always something you can do as a Protoss if you get in there in time. And the second drone has to be pulled down. The Killer just being as annoying as possible here. There it is.
There's the hatch pull, of course, first. On the other hand, we have now for Killer his own Nexus, and the Overlord is there to scout exactly what's happening. So far this is exactly the type of opening that you would expect on Daybreak, and the next step is going to be for the Protoss player to start his gateway, to start into the Cybernetics core, and then decide what kind of tech he's going to pull off. And then this is the time where Killer has to make the choice: do I want to go into a 2-base timing attack, or am I confident enough in my ability to take a 3rd base?
Yeah, that's the next question. And knowing what Killer has done so far today, I feel he's not going to be too keen on taking that third very fast, at the very least.
The thing is, though, what exactly do you do? There are a lot of options that you have. You can go into very old school style that has been kind of figured out into +2 attack Blink Stalkers, which we rarely see. There's always 4-gate pressure that you could put on. You can go into an attack with a War Prism. We have the Immortal Push. There's so many things that you can do, but I feel that these days it's all about getting that third base and then going for a good timing attack on 3 bases instead of relying on 2.
On a map like this too, it's really tough to do a strategy like the Warp Prism attack because it's really easy to get spotted. It's not a good fly path for you to get away with just hiding your Warp Prism flying around. But all these answers will be all these questions will be answered in time. All these answers will be given to the questions.
All these answers will be questions, and I'm like, what?
All these answers will be questions, and then we'll be playing Jeopardy. There needs to be a Starcraft Jeopardy game. I think I'm gonna make that. I'll make a Starcraft Jeopardy game.
I think that doesn't exist yet.
Well, it exists like as a custom map somewhere, but I don't care about that. I'm gonna make an actual show, Starcraft Jeopardy.
I'm gonna take Imba 800.
You could say things I wouldn't want to face for 800. This unit has a charge-up ability, is more effective against mass units. What is...
Oh, I know it. Where's my buzzer? What is a Void Ray?
Yeah, very well done.
Yes! Already getting ahead here. I like this game already.
Which category would you like now?
I don't know. Useless units 500.
This unit was considered to be removed in Heart of the Swarm for a long time. Blizzard decided to reintroduce it. It does require you to build something out of it to attack.
Huh?
Carrier.
Oh. Oh yeah, that was a tricky one. To build something in it.
Yeah.
I was thinking all kinds of things. I don't think I have seen... Well, yeah, I've seen a few carries now in this one, of course.
Just a few.
I can't believe that I botched that.
Speaking of carriers,
maybe not my game after all.
Well, maybe not, but this is just a test run.
Yeah, it's only the test run. That was too hard. We have to take that out in the final version.
But just going into this now, we have the Stargate with the Phoenix coming, and the Effort has seen this.
Yeah.
Barely gets a glimpse, but this is really important because now Killer's opening is very weak. Evolution Chamber is started immediately. He goes into Lair as well, so you can get that evolution, infestation pit.
And it's going to be quite... I mean, with the Stargate, you can do a lot of things. You can either just open the pathway for going into a Warp Prism, but we don't have a robotics yet, so this seems a little bit unlikely. He's gearing up with a lot of gateways here. Could definitely try to go in with the Phoenixes and then just warp in units on the low ground and make sure that he gets, with a +1 attack upgrade, a lot of pressure going on to the third base.
Yeah. Well, just looking at this now, Killer has to make a few choices because he knows that he's been scouted, and he adds a robotics now. So he's not going to be doing a gateway follow-up attack like we've seen so many players do recently, like Flying, for example, really nicely done against Stefano. He's going to probably just take a third base. He may even add a Void Ray and try to use one Observer to clear up some creep, and then take a third safely. Phoenix needs to get away from the Spore.
I wonder if he's really... He's taking this third base now. We don't see the Twilight Council just yet for the Blink upgrade. I really would have... You know, it's one thing to criticize a player for only going into 2-base timings, but to be quite frank with you, I really like them. As a caster, it's really entertaining, and so far the games that Killer has shown didn't end in his favor, but they were really entertaining to watch. And this time he seems to be more inclined to go into like a 3-base play. And he's actually doing quite a bit of damage with those pieces. He just has to be careful that he doesn't lose them.
Yeah, he's trying to do the damage, but he hasn't done too much just yet. The problem is that Effort saw him, so he put all of his Overlords in that stack formation, unlike when he faced previously Creator and all of his Overlords got killed. Because he didn't know the Phoenixes were coming. This is a very different situation. Twilight Council still not started. There it is. I was going to say, if he wants a second Forge, he's going to need that.
Yeah. Twilight Council, Forge, not a lot of probes if you think about it. He's not really committing to Harvesters. I thought for a second that he might try to go for a push on 3 bases without saturating the third, but now he goes into the probes again, and also it didn't make too much sense with what he actually got himself. So the additional forge didn't really fit the picture. So right now Killer really going into this 3-base play, but effort already looking quite decent here. Set up with the queens, getting 4 additional queens. He's going into a massive amount of them.
Yeah, and then one of Killer's Phoenixes goes down here. Bit of a mistake. He has a 3rd base up though, relatively untouched. Things are going to come in here, but there's a cannon. It's got walled pylons next to it, and he's got sentries nearby. So this is a very difficult moment for effort to attack. So instead, he decides to take an additional base, continue his tech. Could start investors at any moment as Patrick's lands are nearing completion.
Killer already killed 8 harvesters in total. This is really annoying play with Phoenixes, at least if you look at it from effort's point of view.
Yeah.
He goes into the much faster upgrades now too. The Killer is really getting his upgrades going. This aggression here by effort is not going to do too much. I mean, he gets those probes away right away, tries to trap a few units with the force fields, which doesn't really succeed, but it just doesn't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Killer with those Phoenixes can also clear up scouts very easily, as you see here. I feel like in this particular game, Killer has not done the damage he wanted to, but his transition has been so beautiful. He's got like a catch-all for everything that effort would throw at him.
It works really well for him. He's up against 4 bases on the other hand, and this is something that he of course knows. He needs to hit a certain timing here, and he's already working on it. He's going into +2/+2, and he's going into the range upgrade for the Colossi. The link is nearly completed, and now he gears up with the additional gateways, so he can hit a really aggressive timing to take down this 4th before there's any threat of Brood Lords coming into the game.
Looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Moves out now. Multiple Immortals here. And he sees this opponent's composition. He knows what he's facing. The Infestors are going to be his biggest challenge here. He has some Phoenixes to lift them. There are only 10 out on the map. I said only before I saw how many there were, but it turns out that there's actually quite a few.
There are also 14 Spore Crawlers now being built, and we have Neural Parasite being researched. So this is getting really scary. If Killer waits a little bit too long, he will be up against a forest of Spine Crawlers and Neural Parasite, as well as the Spire for the Corpus.
Yeah. That Phoenix gets a bit of scouting information. He knows how many investors there are in. Killer is never in a million years going to make a decision to attack here. He's going to take a 4th base instead because he sees that many spines and investors and he's like, you know what, I have 146 supply and I don't even have that many Colossi yet. This is not going to work.
Yep. With what he has now, he's going into more upgrades, getting charged, trying to secure himself the 4th. And if he pulls that off, he can easily just transition into the Templar Archive after Twilight Council, go into Archons and try to get the Mothership out. Yeah. Because let's face it, if he doesn't attack soon, then that's exactly what he has to do.
Yes. He does already have the Star Gate tag, at least that's going for him. But
he will have +3/+3 so much faster than his opponent.
Yeah, and that's going to allow him a little bit more flexibility with how he engages.
The run by here shouldn't do too much. There should be a warping into the main base very soon.
But even these upgrades that we're seeing right now come into play here. The armor upgrade for the probes, no joke.
Yeah. The probe's actually just clearing that up. He looks at it as like, well, only 3 Zerglings. I don't really need to warp anything in here.
Forge here is scouted. He decides to contaminate the charge upgrade instead.
Cute.
Yeah.
Fleet Beacon also being started now. For exactly what we mentioned, the Mothership. You want to have that at some point when you're up against Brood Lords, and this is exactly what Killer expects now. Effort is going into Hive.
This is your standard Daybreak, Protoss versus Zerg late game that we're about to enter. Roaches, though, are going to present a problem not only at the 3rd base, but also the natural, and the transferring probes are so lucky.
And he ignores them. He ignores them and tries to go for the Forge, which is smart. Bam! No +3 attack upgrade, at least not just yet.
An attempted block to get him away from the main base does fail so far.
Well, he takes him down. Effort decided to fight after all.
Yeah, 2nd blink blocks him out of the main. That one Stalker holding his own here. Needs to blink.
Needs to blink fast. More Roaches are streaming out at the 4th base. Here comes the blink, chasing him down, but he missed the ones that were borrowed at the bottom left, as already pointed out by our observer, by Legend here.
Well, this is now a situation where he traded those Roach supply for killing some probes. Now he's remaxing with Corruptors and Lings. I like Effort's position a lot here, but he still needs another hatchery.
Yeah, he needs a 5th base. 4 bases against 4, this is just not enough. He's building the bank, but he is behind Yeah, he's behind Killer at this point, and that's not where you want to be. There's the 5th hatch. Going into another base. Killer also not really producing harvesters anymore because he knows, well, I have a good saturation. My main base minerals are at some point going to be depleted anyways. So why build more probes? I can just get more army and make sure that I'm gonna win the fight.
Yeah.
Where are the units? He's actually going to lose the Nexus.
Well, I guess he thought he could hold it with the cannon and the Phoenix. This is not the case, and Killer now supply block. He's also going to lose probes in his main base. Killer's multitasking here in the late game is starting to fall apart a little bit, I feel.
Yeah, he's losing quite a lot of those probes, and he's blinking in with the Stalkers to make sure that those guys are not going to be a problem later on. But still, this is just way too annoying. I love this attempted attack at the 5th base with the Zealots. Maybe he can take those down, but he needs to make sure that these run-bys are not going to become an additional issue in the late game.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about Effort and Shine both as Kespazurks in this group is that they both use Burrow extremely well for uses that we have not seen ESF players use them for as often. Not to say we've never seen it, especially the players like Leenock using it quite well, but he's going to siege the main with his broods.
Yeah, he's going for the Brood Lords now, and how many Phoenixes do we have left? There are 4. So yeah, the Phoenixes can work on those Brood Lords, but where are the Corruptors? I think he's probably going to get a couple of Corruptors in there. We have 4 of them,
yeah,
and that should be enough to deal with the Phoenixes.
Exactly, just those 4 alone should be enough, and he'll make a few more as he decides to. He's getting a second Spire right now.
Neural!
Oh, he gets it! He needs a few more seconds, but he can chain Neural.
And there is no detection. Yes, there's detection, but he can go for an additional Neural, and he does. Bye-bye, Mothership. Oh, that was very unlucky. And the Broodlords are already working at the main base.
Yeah, Broodlords getting the main base. Killer is stuck between Spinecrawler and a hard place here. Doesn't really have much room to work with. Nexus is going down in the main. He's trying to re-wall his 3rd, but he's going to lose probes regardless. And his tech is a little bit exposed to the Broodlords right now. He's lost one of his Phoenixes. His Phoenixes are not going to be enough to deal with the Broods. Can't get the Stalkers, and he's losing so much here.
He's panicking a little bit. He's really trying to make this work somehow, but suddenly he loses the Mothership. Then he has to face an attack in the main base, a run by at the 3rd. It seems like it's a little bit too much for him to handle.
Yeah. You know, he's not out of this yet. He's still ahead in supply, in fact, but
yeah,
the bank that his opponent is building and the damage these Broodlords are going to continue to do is really going to start to stack up quite heavily.
He's supply blocked, he's losing production, he's losing so many things. He's rebuilding the Nexus because he wants to have the gas from the main base. This is the one thing where he will lack later on. At this point, he's still fine, but now with the Mothership being destroyed, Effort has even more time to build up the perfect composition, the perfect army with the perfect upgrades.
Yeah. He is going up to 14 Broods like right now. Double Spire, giving him double upgrade ability. He comes in, he's just going to pick off a gate probably and then leave. This is when the Corruptors are going to be needed though because of those 3 Phoenixes. 3 Phoenixes alone though, not going to be the biggest issue. Look at how he even fights the Stalkers. Oh, and the Fungal!
Oh, now he can't do anything with those.
He knurls?
He knurls it.
I actually like that. He knurls one with more hit points, and then he kills the other 2.
He knurls both. Okay, this is just trolling.
Well, it allows him to get them back in range, but...
yeah, but in total, he definitely invested more energy than if he would have just chain fungal them.
I absolutely agree. I suppose range does, or Neural has a higher range than Fungal does.
It's the first time that I actually saw a fungal, a Neural Phoenix, I think.
I was actually going to make a joke earlier, but I didn't know if it was bad taste or not. But when you were talking about Neural, I was going to say, well, the bigger problem is you can Neural the Phoenixes and start picking up the Immortals, and the Immortals can't do anything either. Then what's he going to do? But obviously the Spinecrawlers made it so he didn't attack at all. Yeah. Now Killer's trying to take a base over here. Spotted again. Effort is everywhere.
Yeah, Effort is really controlling the map. He has such a good map awareness that Killer is struggling to set himself into... First of all, he's struggling to get a good position, and then setting up another base is also very difficult for him. If he's caught off guard just once, his army might just lose. Effort is so confident that he's even setting up one of the center bases now.
When you do, at the 24-minute mark, a 3-ling run-by into your opponent's main base and get away with it, that's when you know you have sick multitasking. And these Lings are actually going to kill multiple probes.
They're still alive. They actually could destroy the Nexus.
He burrows them, and he sends like 5 more. He's like, nah, I'll do my 5-ling run-by. It'll mess him up for sure. That queen is like, I'll take care of this.
And the mothership is there, but we don't have Archons. He has the High Templars that he can use. He's even stacking queens now to open up more supply. How many drones does he have? 71. He could actually get rid of a few of those.
He could. I like throwing the queens away a little bit less, in fact, because I think they're very useful, versatile units for transfuses, but, you know, it's his choice. That's also partially why he threw the links away. You know, he wasn't actually doing a really specific run by, that was a joke. He's going for just using the links for whatever way he can to get rid of the supply. That's why he's using these roaches like this as well.
Yeah, roaches are gone. It's just like, at this state of the game, you want to just max out with the perfect army, with the most cost-efficient units. And roaches, while they are really cheap and good in the mid and in the early game, you don't really want to rely on them later on. They're just not that useful anymore. Those 2 links still serve a purpose. They can be unburrowed anytime to take down those probes and create another diversion. But right now, the only thing that Killer is being focusing on is this big army, and the fungals are good. And look at all those Broodlords.
Arrows going down on Stalkers right now. Storms go, and they hit mostly the spines. The Broodlords are microed back.
I think that Killer is actually committing kind of suicide here.
Yeah, this is not a fight you can win. I don't even understand why he tried it.
Yeah, that was a very weird engagement. Why would you ever blink into the range of like 20 Broodlords, Fungals, Spine Crawlers, without a chance to actually hitting the Broodlords? And there were also no Archons, so an Archon Toilet wouldn't have even saved him either here.
To be honest, I feel he's a little bit nervous here. He does get some really good Storms off, but Storms are great against units that have low hit points, not units that have a lot.
Oh wow, he's losing everything, Wolf. He's down to 100 supply, he's gonna lose this base too, and Effort is in a mindset where he actually splits a few of his Broodlords to attack the main base now, while the rest of the units are taking out the support base. Killer is losing everything
He's losing everything. He does not have anything to... He's making +2 shields and 1 Colossus right now. I don't know if he has any power gateways. If he does, he sure as hell isn't using them. And he's chrono boosting them all right now. He's on cooldown. 7 Stalkers warp in.
Effort is just playing the perfect game, and he just put Killer in a position where Killer at some point thought, okay, well, I have to attack right now, I have to do something. Yeah. Exactly, he lost it, went in, and then he literally lost everything.
Stalker's trying their best here, but Killer is going to be in Code A for Heart of the Swarm. That one Stalker spinning around like a top.
Now he's going for the Archons, but this is already way too late. Now it doesn't do him any good anymore.
Colossus targeted down. Most of the Corruptors escape. The Broodlords continue the attack. GG.
Killer is in Code A. This is it for him. Effort still has a chance. He is now on 2-1 in this up and down group, but Killer is out.
Yeah, very uncomfortable series for him. Really playing a strong mid-game. Great transitions after his Phoenix play did not do a lot of damage. But on the other hand, Effort's late game was something he could not deal with. The Burrowed Zerlings, the constant run-bys, the Broodlord siege harassment.
It was just too much. This was a game that was really well played by Effort. Great map control too. He saw exactly what was going on. He sent units to the top. He sent units into the main base at the 4th. We saw a few Broodlords attacking there. So he did whatever he could. Even if it was just a small thing, he took it, and that led to a huge advantage later on. And Killer then suddenly with this attack that did not really make too much sense.
Yeah.
And, well, he got crushed. He ran into a forest of spine crawlers, got fungled immediately. He didn't stand a chance.
I think there was some frustration there, for sure. And he was hoping maybe there was, on the other side, less spines, or the spines were being moved. Maybe they weren't rooted at the time. I don't think he had an observer to see exactly what was over there. If he had, then it would have been just killed by the Overseers. So he probably didn't know, and he was like, I'm tired of this. I can't be this guy. He's got more economy than me. He's got a better bank than me. All I can hope for is one good engagement. I'm doing it. I'm going for it. Not a good choice at all, but a frustrated choice, I feel.
Yeah, I completely agree with you here. The next game that we have is going to be Zerg versus Protoss once again. We have Creator, and he is up against Shine. Creator is on 2-0. Shine is on 1-1. This game will decide quite a bit. Doesn't really decide anything in terms of like, okay, Shine is going to be in Code S or not, but if, Creator. But if Creator wins here, then he is as good as in Code S.
Yeah. We'll see how this match plays out. Shine's facial expression going from smiling to very worried.
And
Here.
so he should be. He's on 1-1. And he could be one of those players that has to play in Code A next season. Icarus is the map. It's a very aggressive map. And let's see what Creator Prime and Samsung Khan's Shine are gonna pull off on this map in the 8th game of the day.
Yep, Creator so far looking undefeatable. Can the Kessel player Shine turn things around? It's not going to be easy. This is the GSL Up and Downs for Season 2 of 2013, casted, of course, by Calor.